Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. In this video, I'd like to talk a little bit about CIG's intention to expand on Multicrew gameplay. As always, a huge thank you to all my patrons. It is because of these guys that I get to make these kinds of videos. So if you do enjoy my content and would like to help make it even better, from as little as $1 a month, follow the link to my Patreon page below. So we know in upcoming patches this year, CIG intend to expand upon the multi-crew roles within ships. Currently we have pilot and turret gunners, and that's practically it. We do have other stations like co-pilot seats, but there are no real interactions. You can mess a little bit with the shield and power, but it's not ideal, nor is it always functioning as intended. Now CIG have mentioned that going forwards they would like to expand on the roles we currently have and develop the ship multi-crew feature more. This is obviously great news, as it can be very boring for other people on board your ship when there is literally nothing to do. With the introduction of the Argo Mole though, we have seen the first fully operational and functional multi-crew ship, albeit it is 100% mining focused, but still it's nice to have that feature. So slated for 4.0, which is July 2020, there are a couple of multi-crew advancements. Now, take the roadmap with a pinch of salt at this time, as I'm sure there will be pretty drastic changes coming sometime this month. But let's take a look at these two multi-crew updates. So we have expanded turret gunner roles. This is the first one, expanding the role of the turret gunner. Pretty simple update, nothing too exciting personally, but it will allow the turret gunner to receive specific target designations from other players and track them independently of their own targets. The other update is expanding the pilot role. This means the pilot can receive instructions and view information in order to follow specific instructions, for example, moving to a designated area or quantum traveling to a certain point. So both of these updates don't necessarily add new stations to ships for other players to take part in. It's more to increase the interactions and mechanics of the two roles we already have. Now this, to many, could be seen as a bad thing, but I am preferring this development method of improving what we already have and getting it functional over adding tons of buggy tier 0 mechanics that just don't work very well. Now what I get from both of these updates coming in the second quarter is that there may actually be an additional new station in some way. Otherwise, how will the pilot or gunner receive this information? So there must be some method for a player in the ship to see the overall battle in some way in order to legitimately designate targets for the turret gunners to focus on. Maybe it's a seat with a new UI screen showing the star map in some way with all the known targets, being able to select a target and request turret 1, turret 2, turret 3 or whatever to focus on it specifically. So does this lead the way for a weapons management station maybe? The same goes for the expansion of the pilot role. If a player is to be able to select waypoints or quantum travel points, then surely we need some method to do this. I see this information coming directly from a captain or a navigator, someone able to use the hologlobe or a mapping station to plot courses and give the pilot instructions on where to go. I do wonder if this means one of the panels the pilot has access to could be used to present new instructions, which could then update on their HUD as potential waypoints. I really hope that this is what CIG are planning. I know one day they will get to this stage, but whether this is the initial setup of this method, I'm not too sure. It will be very exciting if they allow for a captain and his crew, his advisors, to work out a course and then send those notifications through to the pilot, who can then implement them. All the while the weapons manager coordinating with the pilot to designate targets for the turrets. I think if that is what's coming, then it will be very cool. It could be something a lot more straightforward, but I don't know. Going forwards, I'd like to see more expansions on multi-crew on the roadmap for 2020. I would expect to see them as well, especially dedicated stations with the new updated UI. That will be really cool. Stations like power management, radar operators, communications and eventually engineering. Having every member on board your ship filling a role will be great to see, but I know it needs to start somewhere, and getting all the stations in is pretty far off. I'd love to know what you think we could see in terms of expanding the multi-crew roles for the pilot and gunner. How do you envision this is going to look? Also, do let me know what role you're most excited for. Personally, for myself, it is the engineering stations, but I do realise that we need a whole slew of other mechanics in order to get that going. Some of these mechanics I expect we will see coming in 2020 as well. In an upcoming video, I will speak more on the ship roles that CIG intend to introduce in the future and talk a little bit about what they might involve, as well as what you could be getting up to on board while off duty. I think 2020 is going to be a good year for encouraging more multiplayer gameplay, with VoIP getting more polished, the ship communications in the works, and the introduction of shareable missions, of which we know we will see many more going forwards. Now is the time to start building on the Multicrew experience, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, if all that sounds good to you, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and hit the like button if you're excited for Star Citizen in 2020. Follow me over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers Ryan. As soon as I get rid of this cold, I'll be back on there. My Instagram and Twitter links are below. Thank you for watching and putting up with my voice, and I'll see you next time.